early morning, time to get fired up. Put your damn seatbelts on, get buckled in, get ready. We're already on the road. What day is it? Is it Friday yet? Come on, people. Yesterday was opening day, opening fucking Fool's Day. They got me good, dude. Dude, I'm pretty easy. I'm pretty easy to fucking get a good one over on. I'm a gullible guy. I've been really upset at my family, and I really shouldn't be. Because, I'm just, like, I'm a byproduct of them, and we're all just as fucked up as each other. I look at things a lot different than some of my family, and it's tough for me to watch them just twirl around in their negativity when I am and have gone out of my way to try to be positive about things, even when, hey, do you think I'm in the best situation? Absolutely not. I am always felt like I've just been kept back, and it all starts from that struggle. You're not afraid to fail when you've experienced failure, and even at its worst point, when you were homeless, living in a tent in the woods, shitting in a bucket, even then, you had figured it out, a way to still survive. And after a couple of weeks of that, it was actually pretty normal. And you forget that people before you didn't start out with all of the advantages that you've been given. And so sometimes you need to take away all of the easy things to see, how things really started to get done in the beginning. And then once you gain a strong foundation of that understanding of everything around you affects you, everyone's negative attitude multiplies, and it's really, really tough in a big society that's trying to push certain narratives. It's tough to keep that positive outlook. When I first started struggling, it was like I was a young kid, and you buy that first car, and I was actually really lucky, and my mom had saved $400 or $500 put aside over my entire lifetime, and then she took that money away from me and gave me her car. And so even that act in and of itself, I was overprivileged immediately, and I didn't work for what I had, and I didn't respect any of it. And that simple thing spirals until it freaking crashes. And then you start from the bottom. And so we're all in different stages of that. And oh man, it's so, like, I love getting all fired up and screaming and all that. But you just seem like a crazy person when you do it that way. But sometimes that's funny and that's good, and you know, we all love that. Sometimes, you know, there's this time and a place. You want to try and not do it at the police and your family and your mom, your dad. You don't need to fucking yell at anyone in your fucking. At my job, like, I get paid to yell at some people, so like, but I'm not, you know, I don't yell at them, but you can use your eyes. If you give somebody a death stare, they won't park there. You don't even have to say anything. And if you know that, all of a sudden you could just switch to death stare and fucking make people move. And, man. So good to know. I'm so glad I'm just, like, starting to figure these simple things out. Very simple body language things. Just because you're a doorman and you've stood there and said hello, and that's it, for 25 years, doesn't mean you can't tell some old man his gray Velcro shoes are beautiful. Because they are, dude. Have you used those things? So much time saved. I work in this building and this old man comes out. Not every day. Like, if it's a bad weather, sometimes he's still out there, and I freaking love it. I think he might go out every day, but sometimes I might be too busy to see him because he's so quick. You know, he takes his time, and sometimes if I think about that, you just think about it. When you're an old man, you're gonna have to put in twice as much work just to get up, just to move. Your gas tank is going to use up twice as much energy just to move. And you're going to have to work 10 times as hard as the next guy just to walk into your kitchen. And if you're not ready to endure that pain your whole life, when it gets there, it's going to be a battle. That old man is the strongest person in the building. Depending on how you look at it, he has to work twice as hard, maybe 10 times as hard, just to get out the door. Some people fly out the door in a flash. For those people, blink of an eye. They don't realize how quickly it goes one day. When you see all the stages of life like that, rotating. Happiest Asian baby, saddest old lady lost her husband. If you can make an old lady lost her husband smile, that Asian baby that's already smiling is going to think you're the funniest kid in the world. That Asian baby is going to look up to you. The world is full of great things. I might be late for work today. That's something I'm gonna have to deal with. I could be, I might take this wrong exit. I almost took the wrong exit because I'm talking and not paying attention like I should be. But if I took that exit and I didn't know where I was going all of a sudden, and I might have to turn this off and turn around and reroute and get back on the track. And I'm glad I'm not afraid to, okay, I got off track a little bit. Let's just get back on track. Just get on track a little bit. Like, just get back on track, that's all. The government decided to fucking wipe, everything is on the table, everything's working perfectly, the Monopoly game is going great. Government just comes along like a fucking 2-year-old. Fucking game ruined, done deal. Everyone's gonna fucking die now. And oh shit, I might have just taken the wrong. We might be going to Connecticut today. I don't know what building I work at in Connecticut. We'll see. We'll see. What was I seeing? What was I seeing? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Merge. Wow. Is it Saturday or something? There is no traffic. This isn't. Oh, you know what? We're just not close enough to the city yet. I better. I'm gonna be stuck behind an accident in 2 seconds now. I called it. We're cruising along now, but I called it. 6:10, I gotta be at work at 7. We're gonna be cutting close today. After this whole experience, the city of Boston's traffic has been like manageable, which is really cool, because usually it's just you look at it and just not want to even attempt it. Man, sailing. My dad bought a sailboat when I was a kid. I'll never forget that. Because that sailboat was a huge burden on my dad and everything. Because my dad didn't realize, like, you can't just have a sailboat. Like, you can't have a sailboat and expect you're just gonna easily and reasonably tow it with your 89 Chevy Celebrity. My dad is phenomenal because he just even tried that. He must have seen somebody doing some fucking crazy Sanford and Son shit, and he was like, you know what? I've got a celebrity too. Let's get a hitch going. Buy a boat. Anyways, my dad bought that boat and he worked on that boat, and spent time getting that boat ready to put it on the water, and everything had to be mint for the boat, and everything was boat this, boat that, boat, and then he's like, oh, now I can't afford, and now since I have a boat, it's wicked expensive, and I can't afford to park it at the dock. I gotta park it in the middle of some fucking pond somewhere. And now I need another boat to get to my boat to save money. So now you got 2 boats. And you know what? He's like, no, I'm not gonna do it that way. I've got a little trick up my sleeve. My dad, he's a schemer. That's where I learned everything. So this is why I've run into problems, because my dad tries to save too much money by not looking for a good free boat when he needs it. Anyways, so he buys some fucking blow up doll of an inflatable raft, paddle out to the boat. Then he gets fucking hung up on a barnacle one day and freaking sinks his whole clothes are wet, everything's wet. And then it's like, oh, next time, he's like, oh, now I got the trick for that, because he bought another inflatable boat. He's got his bag of dry clothes now every time, because he knows he's gonna snag on something with his inflatable blow-up boat on the way to his fucking real boat. Oh my god, it's so funny if you just tell it. I can barely get the words out because it's just so funny. But that perseverance is what made me want to become a mechanic. Because I knew, I was like, if you have the vision and foresight, you can see, you may not see the future, but you'll know in the future you'll have a car and it will break. And in the future you're gonna be broke. In the future you're not gonna have the money to pay to fix your car that's gonna be broke. And so because I had just paid $2,000 to have a good mechanic put a new motor, new clutch, rebuilt, just nice, get my Subaru going again. New clutch, oh great. New motor, lasted hundreds of thousands of miles. But it cost me, I handed that man, like, I still haven't handed anybody that much money since then. It was like over $2,000, maybe right around $2,000 cash. And so I decided, I was like, I want to become a mechanic. And I was like, oh, I'll go to school to be a mechanic. So I started researching this Motorcycle Institute and UTI and all these places, and they're all like 30 grand plus whatever else they tax you with when you get there. So I'm, doing the math, talking to people, talked to my uncle. He was a mechanic. You want to know what he said to me? He said, do not take out a loan, do not pay for school to learn how to be a mechanic. He said, if you want to fix something, just start taking it apart. And when you get to a point where you don't know what to do, ask a question. Ask me. Ask somebody else. And so, instead of spending, it was really funny because I had already had a motorcycle that I wanted to learn how to fix. And it was a 1960 Ducati, and it was beautiful. It was in my living room at the time. And I had never really fired it up or ridden it. It was just kind of a pretty thing to look at. I loved motorcycles, and I wanted to, I almost financed one, like a new one, and then I was like, I got like $1,000, let's see what I could get. And then I just started looking on Craigslist, and like, that was the one. It was the exact amount that I had, and I just loved looking at it. It was a beautiful 1960 Ducati Bronco 125, and and the guy had repainted it in Ferrari Rosso Corsa. It was a beautiful little motorcycle. And when I got it, the guy had just kind of painted it and stuck it in his living room and didn't really get it ready to run. There was no chain. There was it just needed a couple of little things, some cables, and I'd always been into bicycles, regular bicycles and stuff, so I knew how to change a tire, to change a brake pad on some stuff, and change a cable if it snaps. So I start looking at my little Ducati motorcycle. I start looking at it, really looking at it. And I looked at it for about, honestly, I stared at that bike for months. But then one day I sat up close to it. Come on in, buddy. There's plenty of room for everybody. So I come home, I'm all fired up, fixing my Ducati. I decide one day, and I just start staring at it, and I'm sitting in front of it. I pull up, I don't know, a seat, right? Just looking at it. And I noticed it's I could stick a flathead screwdriver on this one screw. I could unscrew this one thing and take this whole piece off. And I didn't even know what any of it was. And the piece I took off was the carburetor. And I took the carburetor and I turned it around, flipped it upside down. I was like, well, besides the one screw I took off, there's 2 other screws. So I was like, all right. I was like, I'm a monkey. I can count to 3. Okay, 1, 2. I took one off. It's okay, wait. I was scared. I was like, what happens if you're a mechanic, right? You take something off. Oh, no! What do? You put it right back on! I didn't realize. So, I take the 2 screws off the bottom and I open it up. Clean as a whistle. And I'll never forget that part, because the next carburetors I opened, every carburetor I opened after that was not the same way. The rest of them had friggin' molasses in them. So, put that carburetor on. 3 screws on the bottom and the thing to hold it on, and then 2 screws on the top where the throttle cable goes in. And there was no throttle cable at the time. And the throttle itself, the assembly, I took that apart, because that was also 1 screw. Took that off. It was broken. I almost nearly cried about it, because I was like, oh, woe is me. Where am I to ever find such a rare 1960 Ducati piece of quip at such a time? I will just certainly vanish and give up my life from here on out. No. I took a tool that I had that my grandpa bought me when I was 7. and it's like a Dremel tool. It's called the Black & Decker Wizard. I still have it. I still use it. It doesn't work as good as it used to, but I still have it and I still use it. And it has a little tiny cutting wheel. It has little teeny things you can carve with. There's all these little attachments. Put the little cutting wheel on. I cut the part, because it was just a metal tube, right? This throttle assembly. It had like a relief cut with this thing, and then the piece of metal just kind of curled around and held the throttle cable, and that piece had broken off. How am I gonna fix that? I kept the notch going. I cut the notch a little bit further on each side. Then I heated up the metal a little bit at a time, not too much, because I didn't want to melt the handle grip area. I just wanted to heat it a little bit while I bent it. And I just bent it just enough to hold that barrel on the end of the cable, the throttle cable, which was actually just a bicycle cable that I had. I had bought a regular bicycle cable to fix a bicycle. And I ended up fixing my Ducati with that. My 1960 Ducati ran after that, and I fired it up, and it still didn't have a chain on it, so I couldn't go anywhere. But I realized it worked. And then I bought a chain, and I started driving it. Not a lot, just a little here and there. It wasn't fast, but it was really cool. And you know, the more I rode it, the more like that 1960s issue started arising. It had still the original Pirelli drive rotted Uggos onto it, you know, like, and the back rim was clearly like it had been sitting and it was rusty, but someone had just painted it. So the back rim started like falling apart, busting spokes, going crazy. So I couldn't really ride it anymore. So I had to end up parking it until I could find parts for it. And so I spent about a year searching for a new rear wheel. And then I drove to, I think it was Saratoga Springs, New York, to get a wheel, because I was searching Craigslist every day. I would just type in Ducati, and that's how I found those parts that I needed. And you know, there's a lot of great deals that come up, but you can't get them all if you're looking for what you're looking for, because if you start getting all that stuff, you won't be able to get what you need when you need it. So just that, just doing that, just gaining a small experience like that, and instead of doing what the commercial tells you to do, ask a few questions, see if somebody else has made mistakes before, see if you can, before you even start, learn from those mistakes. Because after I learned that, I realized that if I'm going to be a mechanic, I can, let's say I want to do some job and I need a big tool and I don't have that big tool, now that I didn't spend $30,000 on school and I don't owe that to somebody, I don't have that debt hanging over my head, that gives me more power to buy the tools I'm going to need. So every day, new tools are created. YouTube is like a very, very powerful tool, and it is all how you use it. Anytime anything breaks of mine, I'm not afraid to look up what the part costs. Take it to get a few estimates, and I'll know if I'm gonna pay. I'll know who is the shadester. Like that. You can read people like a book if you choose to do so. Doorman, you gotta read these people. You gotta be quick about it. If they go, that might mean they probably need a cart, and they're gonna next thing they're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna run up to them and be like, what do you want to strangle my neck? What's happening? Yeah, you gotta read people, baby. It's all about reading people. That's all it is. If you can read them, you can help them. You can help them quick. You can help them quick. It feels really, really good to gain some power from tools. It feels really cool to hold power tools. Take that lug nut off. What a good day. The traffic is really not bad right now. I might be going into Connecticut. I don't know where. I haven't looked at a sign once. I've been telling the stories. It's so fun. It's so fun. You guys should try it. Try this. Try this place first. That's it. I'm gonna speed. Because they allow me. Uh-oh. So when you're driving and you're speeding, you need to know two things. People are going to want to pull out right in front of you. And you need to get out of the fast lane and stop speeding because people want to go faster than you. Because when I want to go fast, I want to go real fast. And I hate it when you're in my way. That's why people are like all over the road. Sideways. Get out of my way. I eat road rage for breakfast, baby. Usually I'm at work by now. Usually I'm sitting in the garage. I might be late. They tried to keep me late yesterday, but the game was canceled and they didn't need me to stay late. And I probably would have died falling asleep at the wheel. If I had allowed them to control my life and make me stay till 8 o'clock at night. But no, instead, I told the manager who I could basically fire him if I wanted to. Like, dude. And it's like, dude, I'll be fired, and you know what? His life will be fucked if I'm fired. So he can't fire me. So it's like, dude, we all got to work together here. You know, like, come on. If there's no baseball game today, it was fucking called. You don't need me here. You don't need me here. I'm not standing here till fucking 8 o'clock. In 2 minutes, I'm going to curl up on the floor right there and take a nap. If you're not ready for that, I already told you so. And sometimes you got to be stern with these people. They decided they were going to hire a new kid, and maybe they told him right beforehand, yeah, we don't need you, you can go home. No, we fucking need that kid. He was supposed to stand there, and I was supposed to tell him what to do for 20 minutes, and then I was going to fucking leave, because he's going to be the best doorman in the world after I just talk to him and tell him how to do it. It's so easy. But people they think I'm just the doorman. They don't realize that I could be your boss any second. I will be your fucking boss right now, because I'm not going to let you boss me around. How's that? Feels good to just let it out, even if you're not letting it out at them at the time. Because you got to let it out frustratively so you can let it out calmly. Because when you can let it out calm, they get even more pissed that you're not agitated. And then when they try to get you agitated and you don't, they get more agitated. And then you get to see who's the freaking crazy one. Then you can see who's really got the issues. You gotta stop taking BS from people. I mean, unless they're your boss and you respect them. Like, so this is where me, the doorman, $17 an hour, right? I don't deserve a raise at all. But you want to know what? Every person in the building that I work at deserves a raise. And I'm going to give them all raises with my words. Every time they leave the building, they're going to hear positivity, and it's going to be a good day, whether it's raining or snowing, or their husband just died. So, moving forward, take no shit from anybody. Not your bosses, not your boss's bosses, nobody. You are the boss. And the only reason you're where you are is because you decided to get up and go there. See, here I am now. I'm in the traffic. So now I'm in Boston-ish. But now I gotta make it to exit something once after this traffic jam. I'll probably be fine. I have a half an hour from here. No, I have 20 minutes from here. Cutting it close today, boys. Traffic jam. Remember earlier when I called this? Oh, man. I was awake today. I woke up at 2 a.m. and just started getting ready. And I went to bed at 7 or 8. I got home at like 7:30. And I had to and I still haven't done my laundry. Same pair of pants. I don't know how many old man shit cars I sat in. Fucking same pants. If you're not afraid to do a little dirty work, you can get some shit done. This traffic isn't as bad either. It's just when you're at that one spot. It's just those trucks trying to take that corner, maybe. I don't know. I just work here. If you're watching this and you want to leave a comment about what the hell should I call this drive, which way should I point the camera, how should I do this, should I continue to do this, should I just shut up and sit down and get down and shut your mouth, Condon? Just shut up, boy! No one wants to hear about you. Leave it in the comments. Fire it up. Fire one off. If you think I suck, tell me I suck. Love it. Love to get roasted. Roast me in the comments. Call me the shittiest panted doorman ever. See what happens. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun with it. It's gonna be fun. Doesn't matter how it goes down. It's gonna be a fun time from now on. There's a positive situation right after you shot yourself in the foot. Now they got robot foots. It's the future, baby. Because it's in a parking garage, and it's really fun to hear the echo. The Dedham exit is going nutty. got whatever, dude. Like, you want to learn some Spanish? You can talk to somebody with it. You can ask them, how should I? How do you? On this. I can't speak Spanish, but it's if I knew it, I would be able to be like, comprende. The sun is freaking shining today. Better get my sunglasses out. Gonna need them today. It's gonna be good. Today's gonna be beautiful. I am going to enjoy it. I may have a mask on, but you're gonna hear my mouth. I'm getting hungry. I wonder if I have enough time to stop and get a breakfast sandwich. All I need is I just need to make friends with one resident that normally orders breakfast and give them $20 or whatever it costs a week to get a freaking breakfast sandwich every day with theirs, and that's all it's gonna take. You just gotta reason with these people. They're very reasonable. They're very, very reasonable. And I told a lady yesterday, because it was raining, that I would walk her letters over to the mailbox. And she was like, you would do that? And I said, I'm here to serve you. If you want me to do you a favor, you ask me. And she almost was like taken aback by that. Because clearly no one has done their job before. Things are going to change for those people in that building. They pay a lot of money. That is a very expensive building. They're going to get very good treatment from me. Stuck behind 25 trucks getting off the exit, and it'll probably take me 10 minutes longer once I get there. So right now, I've got to move quick. I've got to change lanes quickly. There is a tow truck in the immediate lane. Oh, we've done it! We've done it again! Magic. City of magic. Majestically magical city, Boston, Massachusetts. Out of the way, wood chipper. That thing would kill some people, dude. Stumpy's Tree Service. If you need a hitman. Oh my goodness. say it's a beautiful day. People say, yeah, today is one of those days. Today might be the opening day. The real opening day. The actual, we could play baseball on a day like today. It says it's 28 degrees F right now. A little chilly. Probably warm up. It's warming up right now. I can feel it. I can see that. I can feel that sun on my face. Feels good. It's great to be alive. The greatest city that I've really been to. And I've been to Los Angeles. That fireball that shines its light upon me, that throws its light onto this bullshit that I call on a daily basis. That fireball could take us all. Or it can give us all life. That fireball has power. And you can't take that power away from that fireball. Dang, that power could take any of these lives right in front of me just from the glare. Just from the glare. Like these sunglasses I'm wearing are literally for torch cutting. Like when you're a mechanic and you have to cut a freaking nut off a bolt with fire. That's why I use them for driving. Because the sun is a fucking savage. And like for regular sunglass use though, it's too much. But when it's really bad sun, it's still more than enough then, but it's good. I like it. I stand there at the door. I like to be able to see what I'm doing, not have the sun just roast me. Keeps me safe, keeps the people safe, because I can see what's going on. When I get in their car, I can see. I'm standing there, I can see if they need help.